Welcome back, everyone. How are you all doing? Holy heck, that was loud. Oh, let me turn that down just a fraction. There we go. There we go. Hopefully that's not too bad. I might be adjusting that in a little while, but that's fine. We'll just that. And how you doing, Viking streaming? So yes, I am finally back. Had some computer issues the last couple of weeks, hence why um I've been streaming. Obviously, spent about a good hour and a bit in Discord with Mr. Reaper last night. Got up and running, and he is an absolute superstar. And obviously, thank you for my shout out in my own stream. Right, let's give you a shout out as well, Viking. I know Mr. Darius is probably going to be jumping over in a little while. Um, so, get that ready. And I need to jump in Discord in a sec. Da-ba-da-dam. Yeah, definitely check out Mr. Reaper, that's for sure. Ooh, that's weird. So let's jump over into the game. There you go. Right, so yeah, working on a fuel station or power station at the minute. But I won't make too much of a start quite yet. Just wait for Darius first of all. And there is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Darius Frost. There we go. And if you haven't followed Mr. Darius before, make sure to click on his link, give him a follow, because he's an amazing streamer. And how's it gone, Mr. Wheels? And everybody, I am finally back. I need to jump in Discord and say hi to Dave and all that, guys, because it's been a while.
A lot of cool things in my area.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Pekka.
I am
It's an
back.
alpaca.
I
Get out the
know.
shears.
I've finally got my computer up and running, so it's great. But yeah, thank you to everyone, first of all, for all of your help trying to figure things out. But obviously, it was Mr. Reaper last night who was able to literally go through everything step by step by step by step by step until we found out it was basically the PSU was the initial issue. And obviously, when I went through and replaced the thermal paste on the CPU, I didn't put it back in quite fully right. So, yeah, but it's all there.
You're lucky you didn't damage the CPU if you didn't have it in the socket right.
Yeah, I think it was lined up right, but it wasn't pushed all the way in for some reason, which wasn't making the connection. So, yeah. So, but yeah, I am back. I can now get on and do a bit of streaming. I can carry on with Dave, get some of the factories sorted out. Also, hi Pompeys, Google Monk, Pompeys, Wheels, Grits Fan, and everybody. Yeah, so I thought, because obviously I've spent the last 2 weeks playing FS19 on a laptop, I wanted to do Satisfactory, because obviously seeing Dave and or Darius and everybody playing Satisfactory, it's like, come on, I just want to play again. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing
That's
today.
what happens. Like I'll get my fill of it, and I'll be like, all right, I'm giving
Yeah.
Satisfactory for a bit, and then
Yeah.
I'll watch, and it's like you're doing it or Wheels or NBC, and it's like, all right, I want to go play some more Satisfactory.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Farmer Marks. Now, one thing I did try and do is load it up onto my old laptop. Now, this is the laptop that I had before I actually got this system from obviously you guys and Mr. Reaper and all that. Obviously, it's an i3 processor in that laptop, and I loaded Satisfactory on just to see if it'd run it. It did run, but it was so slow I could barely freaking move. So, yeah, I've been stuck playing Farm Sim 19 Uncharted, actually, to be honest. For the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, but I'm so glad it's finally up and running. I can get back into doing Farm Sim 22, obviously, with the new DLC coming up soon. I can get me Satisfactory on. Yeah, so I am back. So I'm happy now.
That's awesome.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
and
funny joke you pulled on me there
yeah.
yesterday.
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very good.
Uh, yeah.
Cruel, but good. Yep.
Yep.
What'd you
So,
do?
So he sends me a section, a message, and it says that I've got bad. Well, I'll get. I have
I've
to
got
look at.
really bad news or something, wasn't it?
I've got really bad news. And he goes, and then he sends me a picture. The bad news is my kitchen is untidy, but at least my computer works, type of thing.
Yep. And the Bear Mans, thank you very much for that follow, much appreciated, and also welcome in everyone who hasn't been here before. So, yep. Right, so I'm just going to carry on while you guys yak away and stuff. So, obviously, if
Oh,
you've got any
you're
questions,
the
you're alright.
yacker.
Oh no, I'm.
You're the streamer. We've missed you. You yak away. We'll
Uh,
listen and watch.
to be
What
honest,
kind of other projects were you doing before without a computer?
um, not a lot to be honest.
Just waiting.
Yeah, just waiting. Obviously, the biggest issue is obviously I would
Probably
have gone
annoying
out.
his wife and daughter.
Oh heck yeah! Even my daughter was suffering, bless her cotton socks, because she plays a lot of other games online, and well, she's got a Chromebook at the minute that she got from Christmas, from us, but um, it doesn't run them very well. So literally all morning she's actually been on this computer, playing, catching up and stuff. So I'm finally getting a little bit of a break to actually play myself. So yay, bless her. But
Billy's
yeah,
like, but it's my
I
computer.
know. Gimme, gimme. I need to get some fuel at some point. So yeah, so just a quick rundown. I'm currently redoing my fuel area, power area. I want to raise it up just a fraction to how it was, and I'm going to be bringing in obviously everything that I need to get the fuel working. I've decided for this particular one, I'm going with the which one was it I wanted? The alternate, this one here. So the alternate heavy oil residue, because that's the main thing I'm wanting for the fuel. Also, I'm going to do it diluted fuel. The only thing I need to do is figure out what I want to do with the polymer resin afterwards. I'm not even sure what I can use it for.
You can turn it with water into cotton, well, fabric, rubber, or plastic if you use water.
Ooh, I do have that one. And I do need some fabric as well. Okay, so that's good. Thank you very much for that. But at least I want to get this up and running. So in the area that I am currently in, it's just over here. I do have 4 pure, well I've got 2 pure and I think it's 2 normal, yeah, um, crude oil nodes here. So that's a 600, 600, 300, 300, so 612. So it's 1,800 output. And obviously
Yep.
what I'm going to be doing is overclocking them so I get that little bit more, hence the numbers there. So kind of cool. Um, Better got talks.
Where my
Yeah,
turbo fuel factory is.
yeah. So that's kind of the way I want to go. Obviously,
I
I've
just
never
didn't
got.
do the diluted fuel first.
Yeah, I've never really gotten into doing the turbo fuel myself. I may try it. Is that done in the blender, isn't it?
Blender or refinery. There's 2 different
Um,
ways of doing it. Depending on what recipes you might have.
um, yeah, I haven't got that on there.
The basic recipe from the MAM is in the refinery, I believe.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, turbo fuel.
It's
So I need
fuel
fuel and
and compacted
compacted
coal.
coal. Yeah, I haven't got compacted coal yet. I don't think. Oh, I do.
That's
No, that's
just
petroleum.
that's just sulfur and
Uh,
coal together in a
Yeah,
assembler.
I've never gotten actually onto doing turbo fuel in any of my saves. So I'll probably just go with the diluted for the minute. But all of this is going to be coming out. I'm going to be redoing the whole lot. Not even sure what I'm going to do regarding the fuel generators yet. Um, how they're going to be set up. Kind of like how Darius has got his, where they're sort of stacked. But obviously I've got this whole area I can utilize, and also got a train set up here to take anything out that if I need to. So, Blaster Cotton Socks. Yeah, the quote for the day. But obviously, if any of you guys are not following, obviously Darius, Dave, Viking streaming, Wheels, I think everyone's had a shout out in chat. Please click on the links, give them all a follow because they are super great people. And I'm going to do one other because I think you might have missed it, and that's Mr. MP7 Reaper. Because obviously he was the superstar who got my computer back up and running. Make sure to give him a follow and a big thank you as well from me to him because he is a superstar at getting me back up and running. Obviously, he was the one that built the computer. Obviously, you guys supplied a lot of the parts and the money and stuff like that to get it over here. So, big, huge thank you to everyone. Right, so I do need to figure out what I'm doing now. So I've already tapped into one of the pure nodes over here. I'm actually running it. I'm sort of changing it as I'm going. So I've got it coming in underneath. It's currently filling up buffer under here. Don't know how it's doing. Oh, it's already full, so that's good. That's a good start. And what I'll probably be doing is with each of the 4 nodes, I'll probably set up a buffer first before it actually comes up into the main factory. Just got to figure out how I want to do these now. Oh, I keep running out of electric and stuff nodes. Let's take this off a minute. But yeah, I've literally just done this afternoon. Made a start on this, cleared the area first, obviously. Right, so. Good question. Also, if you've got any questions, guys, you're more than welcome to drop them in chat about the game. Obviously, if it's farm sim related, might be able to help. Right, so pop you there. And what I tend to do is run a pipe down first of all. Also, I'm doing this 600 one. And maybe end it near the center if I can. But it looks like I'm going to want to get 3 on this particular one because of the spacing. So somewhere there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's not bad. And we'll bend you around. I think that might be a bit too close. No, I don't want in there yet. There we go. Oh yeah. Now, regarding obviously tomorrow, I should be streaming, but my daughter hasn't had a greatest of weeks. She's not feeling too well, so either I'll be streaming on my own or we'll be passing on tomorrow's stream for this week. So
We want Billy. We want Billy.
my wife's also on new medication that's making her feel really tired at the minute, so that doesn't help as well.
No, that makes sense though.
Yeah. But I might see if I can just get a small satisfactory stream in tomorrow morning. You never know. Or maybe do a checking out Dave's competition map because that's one thing I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Um,
All
oh,
right though.
cool. No worries, HC. No worries, bud. Yeah, obviously I've been watching you guys sort of playing it and thinking, oh, that's really cool. But yeah, I've been very left out. It feels like.
Oh.
Uh, but I was actually thinking there may be some way of changing it slightly so it can work on consoles as well. I'd have to have a little play around.
To have the
If
buildable, you'd have to have the script. It
maybe
needs
I've,
revamp.
I've got an idea on a couple of things. I've been thinking over the last few weeks.
You'd need revamp. You'd need we got 2 scripts running and a third one coming
Oh,
in
is
the
there?
map.
Oh, okay.
It's Thunder's writing a special store script
Um,
for the map for us.
take that one off actually. Ooh.
So I don't know what you got planned, but let me tell you, it probably won't because there's a lot of things that would have to be able to be done. No
Okay.
tabbing to vehicles. Script is in there.
One, two. Okay then. It's just
I
maybe an
mean,
idea. I might have to play around anyway and see
how
whether
would
I
you
can
do a
get it to work.
buildable? How would you do a buildable without having the revamp? We've been. How would you do the digital displays without having the
The
revamp?
displays
How
can be done without revamp.
it could.
I need to see how they're set up though. Yeah,
The
confirmation.
rest of
Hey,
stuff.
not so grumpy. How
Yeah.
you doing? Um, yeah, I've seen it a few times with the displays. I've got an idea regarding the buildable part, but I'm not sure if it would work or not. I've had lots of time to think. And there we go. If you're not following Not So Grumpy Dwarf, make sure to give him a follow. He has been playing Satisfactory as well quite recently and getting quite addicted. Alright, how do I want to do these? Because I want them to
I didn't do it.
flow in better. Um, But yeah, I'll have to have a little play once
I don't know what you're thinking, but
I think I might take these out. Run them
I
one,
can't
two,
think of a
three.
single way to do it, accomplish it without the
Oh,
revamp script.
freaking auto drive. Steve. Let's take that out. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Invisibility and visibility nodes are kind of important.
Two. Yep. Obviously, it's only an idea. It's probably not going to even work anyway, so. But I want to have a little play anyway and see what I can come up with. Now I've got this back up and running.
Mm.
Let's take that off a minute. Should have done it this way, the first way. So what I'm going to do is basically run it so it separates into 3 or 4. Actually, it's probably be equal lines if I can, but do it underneath and then run them up. Should have done it this way the first time round. There we go. And take that one off. Yeah, I hate trying to think and do things at the same time. It's not easy.
No,
Nice.
it's not.
There you go. So there. That's fine. And then I can just run that straight underneath. No, I've run out of. Where's the power pole? Let's take another one. So I've been putting some of these power poles in the water here just so I can fly around a little bit easier. But I keep hitting dead zones. Oh, fudged. Come on, back up, back up. There we go. And let's bring that there. Hopefully that'll give me a little bit of work. Hey, Mr. Michael, how you doing? Yes, I am back. And there. There we go. Let's see how that is. One, that's fine, that's fine. Yep, good. I'm pretty much covered now. I can hover around, cool. Right then, so all good, dude. Just waiting for the train home. Internet isn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, obviously, yeah, you mentioned earlier why that is. Did you have a good day, by the way? If you can hear me, I'm not sure if you can or not. It was cool to hear from Matt saying in the chat that the Trelleborg team liked the SGA competition map. Cool. Actually, I missed that one. I don't know if any of you guys caught it. Obviously, Mr. Baron Matzo was actually streaming yesterday. Um, Unfortunately, I totally missed it. I was kind of wondering if they actually beat Trelleborg for the first time.
No, they didn't.
Didn't they? Oh, jeez.
He made a mistake.
Oh, that's not going to work. Um,
He knows what they know why they lost, and they would, but he forgot to transfer the lettuce over to the final.
oh, that's typical.
One mistake, that's the thing.
Yeah, that is it. Let's bring them out a bit, I think. Oh,
Everything. But that's pretty interesting that they really enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
think
definitely cool. Definitely very, very cool. Well, oh my goodness.
they might not as much after I do these changes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, what are you playing tonight, Dave? The map or taking a break?
Uh, not sure 100% because it depends. I might be working on the map at this point. What
Ah.
time? What time is it? I'm making changes. Oh, it's early yet.
Oh yeah, you got plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah. Let's take all this out
Might be
again.
doing the map because I think it'll be done in time. I'm just redoing the collectibles right now. If they don't, if they work the way I'm redoing them, then it should be
That's fine.
doable.
Groovy. Involved, involving the war too. Oh yeah, I heard that somebody ended up in the war, didn't they? At one point during
Oh,
one of the
that'll happen.
competitions.
Wheels was
Yeah.
playing? What?
Oh, that's not right.
It can happen.
I didn't know Wheels played for Astragon or Trelleborg. I mean, if somebody's gonna find a way to end up in the water, it's gonna be Wheels.
Oh heck yeah,
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
that is very
He's
very
good
true.
at it.
So try and keep them same level. There. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just out of curiosity, is that in? That's yeah, it's definitely got in. Good. So that's definitely the side I want. And take this wall back out, which is a bit of a pain. But there's going to be quite a bit of an uplift there. Right, keep that one there because that's where I want it to come from. Fiddlesticks. Oh, maybe I should have waited till next week. Not you, Mr. Real. Yeah, yeah, because I think obviously, what was it during Surfing Cowboys competition as well? Someone dumped some a trailer. Oh, was it chaff in the water as well? I think that was Matt says team. So that's not very good. Right.
Well, you know, it happens.
But it's going to be really interesting to see how you guys adapt how the run of the map goes or the competition goes. That is definitely because obviously with the run through that Dave did on was it Wednesday stream, it was really quite
Um,
quick actually, wasn't it? It was like a what, hour
it
15.
was. There's a problem. I'm rectifying today, hopefully. The problem is that now that people figured out how to get the cash so easily,
Ah, right.
they're skipping the cages and the sabotages and just buying whatever they need.
Oh, that's not very good. Oh,
Which,
hence those new
oh,
scripts.
trust me, I'm making it so the tokens are worth a little bit less. They're a little bit harder to you. The bridge strategy should be really hard to do because you'd be covering them up, the other ones up,
Mhm.
and the so those are two things, and we're making it so that if you sabotage the cage, you sabotage the tokens as well. So there,
Yeah.
that'll take a lot of money out of the game, but still give some to those who get are fast enough to get a few bucks, you know?
So that's cool.
But it'll be a little bit more time consuming, a little less money.
Yeah.
So without removing the mechanic completely, I think it'll work out well. And then
Fudge.
certain things like cage prices to open with sugar beets have dropped. The bridge price with sugar beets has dropped to make that more timely, a little bit better, and all sorts of little tweaks. But nothing on the major end, just the little ones.
Mm. Actually, no, I'll leave that there.
So now
Cool.
sabotagers should come back because they'll be
Actually, I
you're
don't need that.
not going to be able to buy all the equipment, most
That's
likely.
cool.
You know what I mean? You'll
Yeah.
have to go for some type of cage
Yep.
or two.
Right.
I expect that to add some time back to the competition. But I've done some research. You know, people say, well, it's too long to be an esport if it's under, if it's 2 hour competition.
Yeah.
But
I don't
technically
know.
speaking, there are esport competitions out there that run, especially like the soccer league type things. They play a full regular, just like they would in real soccer, but and they run the whole thing, and it takes a few hours.
Yeah.
I I did find that I forget what it was, but the longest esport competition last one match lasted 97 hours.
Oof.
The two solo guy, two one on one against each other in I forget what game it was. But the thing was, they found a way to do a maneuver that blocked each of the other player, and they both knew how to do it. So, and I think they played till one guy lost connection and passed out or something.
Mm. Ah. Yeah, that is not good. Let's do you. See if I can do this a little bit easier. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's not too bad actually over time.
I think it's a pretty decent. And if you want to include more aspects of the farming and production and stuff into it, you need a certain amount of time.
Oh heck
I
yeah.
think we got it. I think we got it pretty good with all that in there.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it is a good blend of things that you've got in there. So it's like rather than just bailing all the time.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Trelleborg said that they'd like it better than the FSL because we got other things to do.
Exactly.
Could you imagine if you had time drops and some of Giant's extra coding,
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
or maybe even a
That would
grab
be
for
cool. Yeah.
starter equipment, like they use the beginning, put the good equipment out there, but make people grab it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, it may make people grab it, or even being able to ban certain equipment, have a ban phase. You know what? We know you're good at
Exactly.
logging, so we're gonna ban the good logging equipment.
Yeah.
Throw in their power ups, so if somebody grab, randomly on the map in different places, those things could, I mean, they could take this one notch further and make it a competition.
Oh heck yeah.
The
There you
the
go.
Wouldn't be
higher
hard.
speed equipment, you know, like the speed boost for harvesters. Man, could you imagine grabbing that?
Mm.
Ooh,
That would be nice,
three
wouldn't it?
minute speed boost on your harvester. Oh, grab it. We need it. That would be. I want some code,
Yeah,
Giants. Come on over.
yeah. The new FSL by Dajnet.
It could well be. Alright, so
That would make for a lot more interesting competition, I think, than just who can bail more bales
And who can
type
stack
of
them on a
thing.
conveyor?
yeah.
Yeah, and who can stack
Imagine
them on a
having their
conveyor.
bridges too, something with their bridges that triggers them.
Oh, that'd be.
Like dump
Yeah,
how
being
about
able to get in and out of the final areas and things like that.
bridges up, bridges raised, bridges lowered? We just build them across. But what if
Yeah.
you had what if you had a different mechanic for that as well, more toward what they do, you know?
Well, what if there was a power up that would block their bridges for
Oh,
30
exactly.
seconds or something, or a minute?
Raise all the bridges,
Mm-hmm.
power up, bring that one in and replace. Yeah, it could go so much further if they decided to
Could
Yeah.
you potentially
hire
make
me
that a
on.
sabotage, Dave? Where you
Uh,
could dump something into a trigger to raise somebody's bridges for
uh,
a period?
That wouldn't be hard.
Not raise them, but you could block them off for a certain amount of time. The way it's built.
That's what I mean. Block them
Do
off.
away with these for a minute.
Yes, there could be a bridge block temporarily bridged for a few minutes.
Yeah, you just have to put it on is it a rotator, then
No, you
add it to a
you put
trigger.
it.
No, just have it with the fill trigger the way it is, and then have it slowly over time degrade too, so that when it gets back down to a certain point, the block disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, same way with the build node, but have it so if you dump potato in, it makes nothing. You know, kind of like we did with the water. Converts it into lesser amount, and then the bridge disappears again.
Yep.
Evil thoughts.
um,
Options are there, but
Because that could definitely throw somebody off. They're
oh
cruising
yeah.
along, and now you've got a way to block them and catch up significant amount of time.
And I'm not saying those mechanics aren't going to come into play, but every time you add something, it
Oh yeah,
changes
it's
the
a
game,
balance thing and everything else that you
and you
have to
got to
account
rebalance a
for.
lot of stuff. So we got to get it to, like, for instance, the coins. Once people figured it out, it bypassed half the stuff that was needed, and that's not good for a competition.
no.
By
No.
so so it's being balanced back the other way, where the money won't be as powerful and a little bit harder to collect. Hopefully, we'll see. Now, somebody that doesn't mean somebody's going to come up with the end all be all strategy to get the coins. Once again, we got some
But
pretty clever
may
people out there.
yeah, making the coins a little bit less of a value, I think.
They are.
You still want them a value, but that's part of the strategy. Do you gun for those and
They're
you know?
not much less. There was actually 900 grand in coins, but you had to spend uh some of that in putting the placeables down to get them, right? So now if all the coins are just 10,000 each and they're stacked and you mess up a 8,000 placeable to get a 10, it's not worth it anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Yeah.
You,
yeah.
it's better to use the smaller ones that only cost $250 and build up straight, but that's much more time consuming and it takes a little bit more practice and skill to get very far. What's going to probably happen is people will go for some of the low ones, which is fine. They might even do duels and stand on your shoulders and try to get 30 or 40,000 each cage, but that's a lot different than it, you know, they'll come up with strategies to get a little bit of it, but they'll probably skip or have to go back to.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
where does it become inefficient to continue trying to grab them?
right. And that usually becomes inefficient when there's another piece of equipment ready for you to use on the farm for that fourth player to go and grab and start. But early on, there isn't, so you usually send one or two people, depending on how you want to start, to collect tokens. Now, the whole team could go and all collect tokens, but I still then you don't have anybody start getting a head start on the other stuff. So it'd be interesting to see, but I will say I think these balance changes are going to be pretty good ones, and we'll have to see how it plays out and give it a little bit. And when Thunders comes in, his script is all about modifying the store.
Right.
Now, the reason being so we don't have to have the rules you can't buy anything placeables to build your own bridges across in the, you know, no land bridges type of thing.
Yeah,
But if I
they
can
help.
remove the stuff that builds the land bridges, and also buying wheat and bales to sabotage with, which would be totally cheaty, or even buying it just to sell and get 10 times the value back. So that was the original idea. But as far as equipment wise, what if you could set a quantity of items available? That's what I like, you know? Like I could set everything so there's just one of each in the store, and if you're not the team that gets it, then it's gone. So that'll bring the money into play real early. We got to get this, or it's gonna be vanish. Only one team would be able to get it. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm not saying everything has to go to one, but certain tipper types that are popular could be like only three available, and one team might try to grab all three, but force them to think outside the box. There's certain headers that people love to get, and if they're not the one that gets it, what's your backup strategy?
Like the
mm,
case header that has the built-in wheels to.
yeah,
Well, there's
right.
the power flow headers, one of the only
Oh,
headers that will
keep
fit
falling.
on the starter piece that are bigger, you know, that are the power flow the ideal power flow 30-foot header is great to throw on the Rossel mash in the beginning for a quick boost. But if there's only one available in the store and you don't have the money to get it on time, which would be then one team gets it and the others scramble for something else, you know?
Yeah. Well, obviously they've got the New Holland variation as well to that case one, so they could use that as well.
Yeah, you got to watch out because a lot of headers won't work on all the equipment,
Yeah,
depending on
that
the.
is the other thing as well.
I haven't tested them all, but I've during competitions bought headers and went up to the field and it won't harvest it on the Rostelmash. And I'm like, oh crap, now what do I do? Should have tested it before I started playing, but I never have time to test until we go live because I'm changing something.
Yep.
Just little tweaks. It'll be hopefully once we get the script from Thunder, we'll be a lot closer to where I want it to be.
Right. Let's get you pumping. There's no power. That's fine. That's what I want. Oh crap.
He said, what about making it so you can figure exactly what's in the shop, you know? We could
That
take
is a really
out
cool idea.
put it in XML so they don't have all this stuff, but just a certain number of items. Then you can remove some overpowered strategies just by doing that. And that would be a big help as well.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah, Gamer Paul got it finally back up and running last night. So yeah, I am back doing a bit. Well, we'll be obviously carrying on with Mr. Dave doing the um, hopefully stuff for the next map, like the updates to the
Soon,
factories and that. So yeah.
soon, hopefully.
Right, so I need to make sure I get the right spots for
But this is
these.
actually, to be honest with you, this has been well received more than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
You know,
that is for sure. I think it's just because it's something different, but it's something that you can do with friends as well, or people you don't even know. Because I noticed,
you could do
yeah,
time trials on your own if you want to just race against yourself.
yeah, I know quite a few people have been doing that as well, haven't they? They've
Yep.
just doing single player, finding those little twerks and that, and saying, "Oh, this might work," or "that might work." So, yeah, it's really cool. I like it. And yeah, so next week I'll definitely be checking it out, or over the weekend. Not sure yet. We'll see. Why is it so dark under here? There we go. Light. So, Who knows? Maybe my stream on Wednesday I might do some of the competition map with you guys. Where are you? There. Yeah, I've got a lot of work. Got get the factories sorted out for the next map. Also got the first DLC for the season 2 coming soon as well. And yeah, it is pretty much exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. It's just exactly the same as Maze Plus, really, being brought into the game by Giants themselves.
It has its differences, but it's same. Yeah.
Same idea.
Same concept,
Yep.
yeah. See, I was hoping it was cornstalk bales, which would make sense because there's a lot of farmers that bale cornstalk.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know many farmers that bale corn silage.
None that I
Most
know of
just
around
throw it in a
here.
bunker. Yeah, I was gonna say most throw it in a bunker.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, clearly, some people do, because otherwise the equipment wouldn't exist. But
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. But well. Fun and games.
I'm painting the ground.
Oh, that one's slightly off, but oh well. Not to worry. So once I've got this hooked up and partly up and running, what I'll do is I'll jump back to my main base to show you guys what I've been up to on there. So let's get this hooked up. So it's at least starting to produce. That one, and give me, there we go. That's idle. Why are you idle? You're not pumping up far enough. Oh, there you go. That's kicked in, and hopefully that will start kicking in a moment. Or did I miss someone? Nope. Yeah, just waiting on that to fill up. That's cool. That's fine. I can leave that for the minute just to start kicking in. So that's obviously coming off of one node, actually, one of the pure nodes. I calculated it to be 20 refineries for that, so should get a fair bit of oh, what was it? The
Diluted fuel.
yeah, for the diluted fuel stuff. Right. See, there we go. See, it's been a while since I've done all this. Oh, forgetting the keys and stuff. It's not good. Right then.
You're
Yeah.
reminding me at some point I need to get back and finish my
40.
my fuel power plant.
Yeah, so it's 20, 40. So yeah, I'm going to be probably doing 60 of them to start off with. Then obviously that's then going to be going off to create the fuel, or the diluted fuel anyway, and then so on from there. So it's going to be a kind of a big area, so I'll definitely get the rest of that cleared out at some point. Righty. Choo choo.
Okay. Not too shabby.
Yeah, that's what my north power plant is, Billy, is the diluted fuel with the turning it into power.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Enduro, how you doing, buddy? Let me see. So since the last time I streamed, I've added an extra layer onto that building there, which is obviously all my power storages. My coal generator is just over there factory is now, I think I'm happy with how it looks now. It's pretty much finished from what I wanted anyway. So I've basically just gone through, added the nice metal sheets and stuff onto the wall and nice glass. But then I was thinking, how am I going to sort of show it off a little bit? And I grabbed some displays, threw the emissive on there, added some square, slanted bits, pieces. So I think it's turned out really well. With the pipes coming in, because obviously this was sort of underneath the ramped sort of area. I've sort of opened that up so you can actually see the pipes of the water coming in, which are being pumped in from all the way down the far end there. But I've tried to keep it symmetrical, so it's the same either side. And currently I've got 30 cold generators running in here. I have actually got them all sharded up once so far. Because obviously I had them all set to 3 shards in each, and I found it was struggling at times, so I'm just slowly increasing the shards in these at the minute. At the minute it seems to be fine with one, so I'm going to leave it for now. I will probably add a second one in, see how it does with that. If it starts struggling, I'll just keep it on the one. But currently this is outputting 3,375 MW, so power, whatever it is, to my main factory and stuff. So that is definitely helping a little bit. I do have some additional water being flown over and being used. I'm hoping to actually do away with that at some point, but we'll see. One thing I did have an idea of is when it gets night time, excuse me, a lot of the lights I find are really quite dull, to be honest. So I went through with the same idea as the displays are there and added in the emissives, but I basically put them on the actual roofs themselves, the big billboards, and they make great lights. It definitely lights this area up perfectly. Obviously, I wanted to try and do every other one. What I'm probably going to end up doing is removing these ones in the middle and maybe putting glass panels there. But obviously, this is still a work in progress over here. But I've obviously got motors being produced. I've got computers. Most of the things are now up and running. I still need to get in, do like turbo motors, stuff like that. Let's see. Let's have a look on here. So got all that working. That's all okay. Got that produced and got them. Obviously, I haven't got into doing any of the plutonium stuff yet. But this is the one thing I do want to get up and running at some point. Is those pressurized conversion cubes. Also, I'm going to need a few things for that first of all, up and running. Heat sinks I've still to get sorted out yet. But obviously, one thing I am still working on is obviously completing the phase 4 stuff, which should be fun. But yeah, I do like how you got this metal wall with the glass, but obviously having the support beams at the top, just to give it like a little something extra. I like it. I am definitely liking this so far. Also got my Christmas
That was pretty
factory
good,
over
Billy.
there. Yeah, it's getting there. I did add some hypertubes, one going up, one going down, so I can actually jump in to a train quite easily now rather than having to try and hover up and crash. Yeah, so it's still a work in progress, but it's getting there, and this is what I like. It's progress. Obviously, I've got my main little area just here, and then concrete I've still got at the back there. I haven't put it into a room yet. Might get onto that at some point. Um, with that building over there, that is actually making my aluminum stuff. So it's the aluminum sheets and the casings. Had to think what it was there for a minute. The only downside is that leaking moth or whatever it is, ray, keeps flying right through the building. But it is what it is. And then obviously over here I've got my Christmas little factory. It's kind of shut down at the minute, but it is fine at the moment. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much as far as I've gotten here. I'm still slowly working on different things around the areas. So, but I am definitely liking the look of that shiny concrete. It looks really good. One thing I do want to eventually do is with these sides, have them all gone all the way down to the ground and have them like supports on the inside. One thing I did think of as well, where I've got the products coming in from the train station up here, obviously it's coming from different areas. I wanted an area where I could see what was actually coming in. So I kind of made this little uplift area and used obviously the glass just to show it off. I think it's kind of nice. Obviously this is all gone underneath and then going off to where it needs to, which is really kind of cool. Actually, one thing I do need is some more of that silica while I think about it. So grab some of that out of these storages. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum. But yeah, definitely getting there. And obviously with this particular one, I've only got 194 hours into it, but I wanted to try and take my time, take it a little bit slower, try and do things, complete things as I was going, rather than just run in, get everything up and running, and then be kind of bored. Right, choo-choo train. Let me go back.
Yeah, see, I was let me get this running and then I'll come back and I'll finish the factory later, and I've got so many now that I haven't finished,
Yeah.
which has been bugging me more as of late. So I'm like, hey, you know what? With the steel thing when I did it, all right, we're gonna finish this whole building before I move on to the next project.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things that bugged me, obviously, in my previous save game. Obviously, I had lots of little factories here, there, and everywhere, but they weren't really complete. It was just like a couple of foundations, and
Amalgamation of
yeah, it's kind of like what's down
stuff.
here, actually. It's just like nothing really spectacular, I suppose. So this time I really want to take my time, get things looking good, and I'm kind of happy. Obviously, there's a few things I still want to tweak here and there, but obviously one of the big things I wanted to really focus on is power for the minute. I've always had big issues with the power. Also, once I start getting into those bigger builds and that, is yeah. So I kind of want to try and, while I'm still quite small, obviously I've got the main factory producing what I need, but obviously I do need to get the power so I can actually start exploring around the map. So actually, to be honest, I have not really gone very far. Obviously, this is the Green Hills. Obviously, got the area I'm going to now here.
The Gold Coast,
Gold
I
Coast.
think it's called.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I did take a wander up here and found some nitro gas um, for a project earlier. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've done so far. Also, you got the desert and the Titan Forest and all that still to go find. So yeah. But obviously, this is one thing I want the train as well, is to be able to carry that on or up and around different areas eventually. Kind of like what Darius has got, but a smaller version. Um, actually, I'll leave that on there for a minute.
Sad thing is my train's not even really that big.
It seems huge. That's the thing. How are you
It
doing?
it does, but then you look at some of these people's builds and it's like, oh, I don't have nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they got all these fancy interchanges and things like that. I just run it in a big loop,
Yeah,
which is inefficient for some of my
that's
factories. But
yeah, that's one thing I've still to explore more of is the actual train system themselves. Because obviously, I only tend to do back and forth from one to the other. I don't tend to do the loops and where it goes right around the map and stuff like that.
yeah, see, I did that early on because like you, I didn't really know much of the train system, so I just, all
Yeah,
right, what's quick and easy? And it was
exactly.
the loop idea. Um, but now that I'm learning more of the trains, when I finally do a restart for 1.0, I'll have much better ideas of how I'm going to do my trains.
Yeah.
And I'll
Aye.
have the interchanges in the back and the fourths.
Aye. But also, one thing that I still get confused of is the signs. I never understood the signs. And
The
setting all that.
signs?
Yeah, you know when you got your trains, or you got green and your red.
Oh, the block signals and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that I have no idea about. I really need to actually maybe sit down and watch a video at some point on them.
Yeah, they are a little
Um,
confusing.
so
You
there,
definitely want like block
there.
signals. Basically, what it does is it breaks up the different blocks of the train path
Right.
so that one train will say, "Hey, I'm using this block. No other trains will enter it." And then what you'll do is, if you've got so many of those block signals on your track, as it clears one, it says, "Okay, I'm good to go." It's open, and the next train will move in.
Mm. Yeah.
And that way they don't, all run into each other from behind.
Exactly. Now, did I place that in the right spot? I don't know if I did. Okay, so that is slightly over, that and slightly over. Okay, that's fine. That's alright.
Dang
That's
it!
fine.
Now I really want the marsh textures from Silver Run.
Yeah, and obviously there's no
Damn
word
you,
on that yet, is
Giants!
there?
Nope. Because like a lot of these areas along this river that I've been doing are very marshy areas.
Right.
And it would be really nice to have that marshy type texture.
I think that's one of the ones that Dave wants, isn't it, as well?
I got a few of them that I want, but
Mm.
I have to see if I can't find any decent like images to make a texture out of. Now that I've got the system for making the normals, it's kind of...
Yeah. Right, this lot can go now. But let's keep that pumping away. Oh, what fun.
I think I
yep.
could almost do a decent marsh texture with some of the ones that they've got in game, just kind of layer them over the top of each other
Yeah.
and then flatten it out, but I still have to have a play around with it.
You should be good to go. Yeah, now this is the headache part. So obviously having to move everything around. Alright, let's see. Let's make a little storage area up here. And I think... Oh no, it's still running good. I nearly thought I had to run out of power there for a minute. I thought, no!
That would be good.
Yeah! Well, considering I've got... Oh, what's it? 300 power storages at the minute? Plus some being produced. I've got 2 coal. Yeah, so... Actually, what is my current amount I've got going? Alright, it looks like I'm actually starting to kick into using some of this parrots in storage. Max consumption is.
Yeah, you're kicking into your battery
Yeah.
because you're consuming
Um,
upwards of 10,000 at the max. And you're only producing 1,800.
yeah.
Well, that's not good, Billy.
Well, it's because this lot over here is shutting down now because obviously it's not producing the fuel. So this is why I wanted to get in and try and run it quickly. Let's just do away with the whole freaking lot. Oh. I don't mind if it shuts down. I've got plenty in storage anyway to get us going.
Well, that's just it. It's going to use your storage before it shuts down.
I mean products as well, so we'll
Oh,
see.
yeah, products.
That's one thing I did. That's one thing I would recommend for you guys if you are planning on redoing a factory or like your power areas. Is make sure you've got plenty of products in storage to be able to do it, because then you're not having to constantly handcraft things. I've been there, done that before, and it's a right pain in the bum.
Yeah, once you get past
Just get rid of some of
handcrafting,
these
you don't
stuff.
want to go back to handcrafting.
Exactly. What can I get rid of? I can get rid of the plastic for the minute. Some of those motors. Let's clear some of this lot. Yeah, I wasn't even sure what I was going to need over here, so I just grabbed a whole lot of everything. Hey, oh, one thing I didn't get was some more fuel for me pack. Dang it. That should be fine. Hey, Mr. Wimmer, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, 'cause they are still running, so that's the main thing. Well, actually, they've temporarily shut down because there's nowhere to go. But I need to try and figure out where the heck I'm going. Actually, one thing I do need to do is keep an eye on my wife. Make sure she hasn't dozed off again. Yeah, she's still on the same medications, but it's a stronger dosage, so it makes her really drowsy. So yeah. So yes, I did mention to my daughter to keep an eye on her just in case. That one. There. What have I got? What have I got? What have I got? I don't have any. Oh, them. I'm not doing too bad. Actually, I'm doing really great now that I'm back up and running on my computer. Not sure if you were aware, but yep, I had some computer issues, so we say. And let's see, let's grab these. There's that. Yeah, so it's probably going to end up coming out quite a way, actually. 1, 2, so... How many is that actually covering? Is that a little... Oh, come on, come on. Get up. Get up there. There we are. Right, let's see if I can judge roughly where it's going to be coming. So... I'm going to need at least one more for where the pipes are coming in and out. Fudge. Okay, so... We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, for, 5, 6. Let's grab a couple of them for a minute. And, oh, dang it. Yes, so that's roughly how wide this area is actually going to end up. So it's quite a big size, actually. Not bad. And obviously, then it's going to be going into creating the diluted fuel. fun, eh? Let's grab some of that concrete where, yeah.
Oh, over there, if you're at the 1800, you're about half of what I'm making on the north coast
Yeah.
with all of that. And I'm making 9,200 diluted fuel a minute up there.
Wow.
That's enough to run 730, well, more than 730 generators. I'm only putting 736 in, though.
Yeah. What did I say? That was 20, 40, 60, so yeah. So
And
that's
I've got
got to be coming
115
to...
refineries, so...
See, that's the sort of thing I won't be able to get up to. Having really big power stations. But they never seem to work out for me. Yeah, 'cause I think that's... Is that right about right? I don't know. Obviously, I've done the calculations and it should be right. Right, so actually, how much we're going to be doing? Let's have a look. So I'm doing that resin on
Which is,
there.
yeah,
Obviously, that's going to be doing 40 heavy oil residue.
for every 30 crude oil.
Yeah. And it's that one. Obviously, that's 60. So, what did I say? So it's 40. And obviously, it's going to be 60 on the other side.
I think I'm going to be making 2,400 diluted fuel, roughly.
Is it?
I think. Didn't quite catch that.
Actually, the diluted fuel should be over there, isn't it? Where is he? There. Yeah, the main reason I wanted to do it over here is obviously right underneath it is a load of water. So there we go. So obviously that is overclocked. Let's take you out a minute. And we'll try and run it as base. So does that
Yeah.
update?
Oh no. So yeah.
So
You'll be
50.
making 2,400 heavy oil residue, which doubles. You'll be making 4,800 fuel.
So that's not bad actually. That's not too bad. I hope. Then I've got to figure out how many
That's enough.
generators
That's
can go
enough
in
for.
that.
That's 400.
Is that
Because each one's gonna run. Each one uses 12.
Ooh, that should definitely work then. So 400.
That's 60,000 megawatts.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be good. See, that's my kind of place. Yep, okay. So this is why I want to try and get up and running.
Yeah.
Right.
400 generators is a lot of generators.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously once I get to the generator part is what I'm probably going to try and work out how I'm going to do it. Because obviously I don't really particularly want to just have it flat like that because it's going to take up a heck of a huge area. But obviously doing it maybe
Yeah,
something similar to what Darius has got would be kind of cool.
I will at some point be putting my blueprints onto my Discord as well.
Oh, that'd
so.
be cool. Well, I've got plenty of time before that. I need to get to that stage. But if I want to talk about that, hey Billy, good to see you're back streaming. Welcome back. Yeah, thank you, Ghost. Yep. I'm ecstatic that I'm actually back at streaming now. It's great fun. Right. I have definitely missed it a lot, that's for sure. Right, let's have a look. Try and judge roughly where this will be going. So let's see. I don't have all the parts. Fiddlesticks. Actually, one nice thing as well for anyone who's just starting out as well, and you want to try and make sure that you got enough of something. So, for instance, I need the refineries. What you can actually do is up the top here, if you actually click on the plus, it'll add it to a little list at the side here, a to-do list. Obviously, if you do it obviously just once, it'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you hold down the left shift key, it's actually going to then do it in increments of 10, which is really cool. So
you can also manually type in the number too.
yeah, and obviously if you click on here, you can actually change it to 60 or whatever. Then just obviously hit the enter, and it will obviously update it over here. You can actually come into here as well and change the number there manually as well. So it's a little hint for you, Mr. Yeah, there you go, not so grumpy. I was hoping you were still lurking out there. Yeah, so let's see. I've got the 20 in there already. Obviously, I said I needed 60, and one's not working. Okay, we'll look at that in a minute. So 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 placed there already. Let me come in here a sec. So that's what, 35 in it. Yeah, so then when you got your storages, if you got any storage set up, you can see that it's exactly how many you need. So I need all of them for the minute. Nope. Hopefully I've got everything I need in here. There, yep. Did I not bring everything over? I'm sure I had everything. There's them. There's some pipes. There's some of them. I hope I've got some more pipes somewhere. So at the minute, I'm self-sufficient, so most of what I've built up so far in storage was from my coal generator plant and what I had here. Obviously that lot over there. Obviously now that I've got it built up a little bit ahead of time, I can actually spend a little bit of time, not too much though, because otherwise it's going to use up all the power and storage. But I can actually come in, redo the whole lot, so it's outputting a lot better. And it's kind of handy having Darius here because he's so quick at all these answers and maths.
I try.
Yeah, uh, I'm terrible when it comes to maths. I really am. Nope. Oh, please I've got some more here.
Well, I'm just somewhat familiar with the diluted fuel
There we go.
because of the nightmare of pipes I have on the North Coast.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun.
I've done that.
Yeah, very true. Mind you, it was fun to watch actually.
Color coding pipes when you get to that stage is necessary.
Yeah.
Or you will lose track of what you have where so fast.
Yep. Actually, that's something that I've actually started doing as well with a lot of the pipes is actually color coding them so I know what's in them. It does help a heck of a lot. 1 plus 1 equals 3. Yeah, exactly. And 2 plus 2 equals duck. Right, so I do need to grab some more steel pipes. So let's
3
run.
plus 3 equals goose.
Oh, well, there's something else. What was it?
I have it on good authority.
Something that my daughter said the other day, and it really got me as well. It was a sum and it made up something really random. Bless her. I think she's been.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought 2 times 4 equals duck. Figure it out.
It's also the case.
2 by 4, you get it? Duck.
Yeah.
Ugh. They're terrible, aren't they?
Or 2 times 4 could equal thump as well.
Yes, thump.
Oh.
Yeah, 1 plus 1 is 11.
Yep.
Now this is all Giants math we're giving you people.
Seems like it. It's like that little factory there. I still need to get that finished off. It's producing my quick wire. Apart from that, that's all it's doing. But I really wanted to do something special. Probably going to end up doubling the size of it because it does output quite a lot actually there. Then what I'm actually doing is belting it underneath that down below me at the minute back into the main base. But yeah, I'm kind of definitely liking the metallic look, shall we say, in here. Du-du-du-du-du.
Yeah, your train station looks pretty decent.
Oh, did you see it there? Yeah, so obviously this was actually what it was is a few weeks ago. I actually downloaded a blueprint for a train station, but I didn't quite like how it was. So I thought I'd try and recreate it using it as a template to make my own little one. So obviously I've got one train coming in from one side and one coming from the other side. The nice thing is, because of obviously the way it's set at the minute, what I can actually do is knock out the side walls if I wanted to, and expand it out so I've got even more coming in. And yeah, I definitely like how it's sort of turned out. On the inside, it's 3 unloading bays on each side. But yeah, and then obviously on here, obviously I've got the belts coming out, and then they go downstairs into the productions and such. Obviously, one thing I've got plenty of is that freaking rubber. But obviously that's set up on either side. So I've got the belts on this side as well, bringing products in. Actually, I'm missing someone there, I'm not sure what, but oh well. But yeah, really like it. Obviously, I've called them Alpaca Base. Had to get it in the air somewhere. But yes, it took me quite a while to do this actually. Um, but I am happy with that as well. And like I said, the nice thing is I can then expand it outwards either side if I need to. And it all matches in really nicely with the steel look. Steel and shiny. Ba-ba-da-ba-dam. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. And obviously at some point I will be expanding my storages. I've still got I think 1 or 2 I still need to hook up to productions. So I've got like some in storage. But then I can start expanding into this area as well. But it's definitely coming on for sure. There we go. I currently I think got 4 drones flying around. Um, there we go. Take a few extra. So they're bringing in stuff from other places. But yeah, at some point I do want to try and figure out that power thing that you did, where you've got the different areas where you can turn them on
Oh,
in phases.
yeah, that was
That's kind of cool.
that was a little bit of forethought before going too crazy because you have to bring them all back separately. You can't have them through a train line or anything like that because
Yeah.
it'll ruin
Oh,
the
come on.
purpose of it.
Yep. Because I think one thing you could technically do, um, is it the oh geysers, whatever it is, the hydropower.
Yeah,
You could
the
use that for the
geysers.
yeah, you could use that for the train and just link
Well,
have that doing that, couldn't
what
you?
I did was everything comes back to a central point and then attaches to the train system,
All right, yeah.
and the train system is what supplies power to all my factories.
Yep.
So you basically have to have some pathway, roadway, something bringing all of your electrical lines back. And then once it gets back there, then you connect it to the train system or whatever to power all of your remote factories off the train system.
Yeah. So not so grumpy. I've currently got I think there's 2 at a water packaging area, which is just next to my Christmas factory. They're actually taking that over to my coal plant because obviously at one point I was running really low on water coming through for some reason. So I just set that up as a top up type thing. Um, I also have a couple more coming from the other side that I haven't really got showed you yet, but over here I've got a couple as well, bringing in fuel, packaged fuel, stuff like that. and oh, ammunition, bits and pieces. I might jump over there in a little while. But yeah, obviously you can actually set them up for a lot of different things. I've just thrown them on. I've never really used them previously. I thought might as well at least get them started. One thing I do want to try at some point is get the trucks and stuff running as well, maybe in here, because I've never really used them that much. Let's bring that across here so I've got something to click onto. That way. There we go. That's fine. And actually, if you're still there, Grumpy, another option as well. When you're placing down, you see how you get these little lines popping up, or anybody actually playing. You see in the middle there, you've got that line. If you hold down the control, that will actually lock it onto that line, so you can place it exactly in line with everything else. It's really kind of cool. Does save time. Sometimes it does go slightly off, so just take your time until you get used to doing it. See, just like that one, that's just gone right off. Basically what what happened there, it clicked onto another um, line, probably something further down there, I don't know, maybe. Let's clear some of this out while I'm here. Yeah, it does make it life a little bit easier, actually. Right, I don't think you've got anything coming through you now, have you? No, you're off. Okay. One thing I keep forgetting to get is more freaking fuel when I was at the base. Oh well. Also,
Yeah, I run out of that from time to time myself.
yeah. Another one as well. Rather than keep going into the store as well, if you've got a scroll wheel on your mouse and you want to grab something that's already been placed, like for instance one of these guys, if you just click on the mouse, the scroll wheel itself, you can actually grab it rather than going into the store all the time. Or even like your foundations, for instance, you can just grab that and then go carry on with what you're doing. It makes life that little bit faster, but obviously you do need that scroll. I'm not sure if there's another, like a hotkey for it or not. But yeah, I always use the scroll wheel on my mouse just to grab it. And you should be there. And should be there. There. Okay, I'm not going to be able to go any further down for the minute on that one. But this is going to be coming from the second pure node. Obviously, I will go down a bit further, and then I'll have another row from there. Actually, before I go any further, just get more power going around there. Don't worry, I will be removing them eventually. Right, so that's going in there, so I need to rotate you around. And I think about there. And I think about there. So that's not going to be too bad, actually. Try just judge the sort of size I want. Or will have, I should say, rather than want. Hey, let's take that out there a bit. Yeah, so yeah, so that is going to be a pretty good sized area just for that. Nice. Okay, I'm happy with that. This is probably going to be one of the biggest builds I've done so far. Let's go up. 60. Yeah. Obviously, these last two, what I'll probably try and do is either bring the two normal ones together into a 600 pipe, Because obviously it's 300 on each. Either bring them into, yeah, a 600 pipe, or just link them up into their own rows. Except it'd be 10 on 10.
Keep in mind the blenders double whatever there's going into them. So if you've got
Yeah,
a 300 pipe going to the blenders, it'll be a 600 pipe coming out of the blenders.
yeah. Obviously that's where it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, then it starts to get funky with the math.
Yeah. See, with that I could always double the amount of blenders and reduce how much is gone through the pipes and stuff. So do like a 300 or something. Um, thoughts. 600.
Well, I mean each 600 pipe of fuel will run 50 generators.
Yeah.
So you should, in theory, have 8 600 pipes
Okay.
of fuel.
Blenders. Yeah, what I could probably do is set up rows of the generators on one side of the tracks here, and have the blenders up ahead here. Still a work in progress. Still lots to do. Actually, what I'm going to quickly do, actually, I know it's getting quite late on, but I'm just going to
It's a
go check
very
my wife.
spacious consuming
Yeah.
build.
Also, we've still got all that lot to clear out as well at some point. But I will be back in just a couple of minutes. Going to check on my wife, make sure she's okay quickly. Okie dokie. She dozed off, bless her. Pills are doing her head
Welcome
in.
back, Billy.
Hey, files are updated.
Ooh.
I just got it done. Now I get you lunch
Right,
before I go live.
let's clear some of this out first. Yeah, the pills are really knocking her on her butt at the minute.
Mm.
Joy. Right,
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
Yeah, well, that's what they're for. Happiness. Oh, it's a shame NBC isn't about, because one thing for if you have anything that's elevated, like for instance, I had some smart splitters there. One thing I've found that's really helpful is these little pillars. Oh, wrong one. Um, if you've got them unlocked, they make great supports. It's just these small pillar frames. They are great. You can actually, if you're say 3 high, what you could technically do is have one coming from the ground, then try and have one going from the splitter above. So they sort of interlock kind of things. Really kind of funky. And if you really want, you could even put one of these guys on as well, just as a little something extra.
Yeah, extra.
Yeah, it's
It's
one
a
thing.
neat idea.
Yeah, it's one thing I've been trying to think of a lot more with this particular save game is adding in supports for things. Um, Obviously, with my last save game, I was actually doing that. The support, so like there you go. So obviously you got your splitter there, and then you got the support underneath. I was using that same formula or format for the fix-it farming stuff, because obviously I was having things belted up above, and it just made it a little bit look a little nicer. Plus, having pipes running through the middle just seems to work. I think, in my opinion. Oh.
In Billy's opinion, it works, and Billy's the only opinion that matters.
On the stream, yeah. Anybody else's, yeah, it's out the window. Uh, right, so that should definitely be more than enough space there. Put that in the bed there for a minute, otherwise I'm going to just fall.
Be back in a couple minutes.
Alrighty. Ba-dum. But yeah, obviously I haven't got many mods in this save game for anyone who's interested. The only one I've really got in is the additional input, the 50 plus, that obviously Mr. Darius Frost is using as well, I believe.
Yeah, I
Let's shut
only
down so
use
I
the
can go.
50.
Yeah, I think anything higher than that's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, it does get a little bit at that point.
Yeah, I think there's was it 300 odd something slot? It's like, eee.
Yeah. I mean, some of them get
Grabbed.
crazy, and
Grab that.
that to me kind of breaks the game. But
Yeah, there we go. Obviously, this floor will be getting removed at some point. Can I clear any of this out yet? Probably not. Oh, yeah. 1, 2. Let's try 2. Fudge nuggets. Okay, let's just do it all. There we are. Right, yeah, I can transfer all that over here for the minute. Right. Yeah, as you can see, I've got tons and tons of rubber. It is madness. There. I'll keep that lot for now. I don't need that, don't need that. I think that'll be fine for now. But yeah, I'm going to be doing the same theme throughout, really, I think, this area with the metal walls, the glass. I'm really liking that look. I really, really am. And at some point, I do want to get fix-it farming back in here as well. Because that was definitely one thing I did enjoy using. Let me keep some of that, actually. I don't need that. I'll keep you. Oh, don't need you. There's that. Yeah, the only other mod I've actually used previously was oh, the power shard one, where you can create your own. That was the only other one I've done. Does come in handy. There, there. Actually, I'll keep some of that plastic in a minute. Let's change you around. that. Ugh. Kind of wish I had the bigger storage slots now. Oh. There we go. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just build so big that 50 is quality of life to me.
Yeah. That's something else I need to properly get up and run is I think after this one would be like a plastic factory or something. There we go. Oh darn it, missed. Dang it. But yeah, what I'll be probably end up doing is all this polymer that's coming out of these, I'll run them back to maybe the main factory and set up a fabric line or two up there. I've got plenty of space. I can throw something in. Alrighty. Is that in line? I think it's about there. Is that right? It doesn't look right to me. Oh, it is okay. It's just facing the wrong way, that's why. Ah. That's another thing as well, is make sure you keep an eye on your input and output, where they're going. I'm forever having to delete and put them back down. There, there. How are we doing? Oh, we've got about 20 minutes before going over to see what Mr. Dave's up to today. Oh, dang. So what do you guys actually think of Dave's competition map out of curiosity? Do you like it? You don't like it? You think it could do with something different? There we go.
It won't be for everybody.
Very true.
That's-
Right. Very, very true. But yeah. Oh. The nice thing is now I've got a computer up and running, I can start working on those factories next week. Get the last few sorted out for your map. Oh, fiddlesticks. We'll get that rotated. Yeah, I was actually kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to get the computer back up and running because obviously, even though I've not got any currently running or being done, I was kind of thinking, oh, Dave's gonna have to be peed off because obviously I'm not gonna be able to finish helping him with the factories and.
Oh, no better
Uh,
time than when it happened.
very true.
Really think about it.
Yeah. Mind you, you did say take a break, so.
Yep, we'll be
Uh,
back hopefully very soon
yeah,
over there. As a matter of fact,
that one's starting
there's
off.
going to come a point if this works out well with these changes, we'll be waiting on Thunders, and yeah, there will be, but I can do both projects at the same time because this will be minimal and not the big overhauls every.
Why? Yeah, exactly. Why do I keep doing that? Let me give it some power so I can see what's going on here. Ooh,
All
fudge.
right.
That'll be why. It's clicking into something else there. Right. Give me power. I need power. wind up, hit the good old control. No, one there. And obviously the control will snap pretty much anything that has the little line showing. Makes life a lot easier. And here is the man himself, Mr. NBC Mustard Dad. How you doing, bud?
Good. How are you? Good to hear you again.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but yeah, glad I'm back finally. Thanks to Mr. Reaper. So, how you been?
Alive.
Yeah. Did you? Oh, I meant to ask. Did you have a good birthday, sir?
I did. I did.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. I think is it tomorrow you're heading off out for some meals or something, is it? I think I heard.
No, we did the meal. So we went out to eat at the restaurant last weekend because everybody had it off.
Alright, that's good.
Tomorrow, I'll do my steak dinner here at the house and
Ooh.
stuff.
Fudge.
And then
Steak.
on the birthday, the wife and I went out for breakfast, and I took the day off. I actually ended up streaming, so it was kind of nice to
Yeah.
have a stream during the day.
I know, I was
Yeah.
there. Right.
Matter of fact, talking about food, I just got back from having more food with
Wow.
my youngest son's on vacation. The next, well, he's been on vacation the week, so
Yeah.
the next 4 days, he and I get to be in the same house together. I'd say spend time together, but he's in front of his computer, I'm in front of mine. Not really spending time together.
Yeah. Oh, that one's definitely well off. Oh, that's terrible.
I'm hoping if I keep prying on him, he's going to eventually start showing up for Wreckfest.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. Keep trying to get my wife back into video games. She used to do them all the time.
All
But
right.
she's like, I can't find nothing. And I'm like, you know what? I got a perfect game for you. I think Dinkum would be right up her alley.
Oh, possibly. Possibly. There we go. That
See, I
is-
can't bribe her with certain things because I was like, well, I'll buy you a new computer system if that's what you're worried about. She's like,
Mm.
I
Why
wish
is it
somebody would offer
working?
to buy me one.
Yeah. No power. Oh, did I miss you? Nope.
Funny, I just started coloring all my the one factory I was doing. My refinery's the exact same way you've got them with the red and black.
Yeah. I always go with red and black. I don't know why. It's just one of those colours I've always liked mixed together.
Yeah. I like my green and black.
Yeah.
That's pretty sharp too.
That's better. That's better. That's better. Yep. Cool.
See, I like using the colors that nobody else uses, the pinks, the greens, the purples. That's how people remember me.
Yeah.
And they actually think I'm a nice guy. And then, they meet me and they're like, wow, you're a jerk. And I'm like, yes, I am.
No, you're not. You're lovely.
I'm lovely. Ask
Yeah.
Dave how lovely I am some nights in Wreckfest.
Oh, I know. I've been watching. Don't you
Yeah.
worry.
I will tell you though, Dave is a good sport. I trolled him the other night with air horns and everything like that,
Oh, that's why. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
I was
it's
watching.
paying my rent. So
Well, I wish I could help out more, bud.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, because also.
If I ever win the lottery, Dave, I will come and pick you up. You can leave everything there and we'll get you all new, but I got to win the lottery first.
Yep.
well, I do have to bring at least the hard drive from the computer with me.
I'll let you bring your computer because you need everything that's on it. You might have a couple hard drives in the closet too you want to bring.
Right.
There. Do two. There. There. Take that across. Yeah, because wasn't it Wednesday stream? When he was hitting the bridges, that somebody would do that,
was
wouldn't they?
Was that Wednesday? Yes, I believe it was because I didn't go bowling Wednesday. Wednesday, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep, because Yeah,
That's kind of
because he
funny.
gave me a hard time because he told me it was my birthday, not his.
Very true. Now, should I take that out one more? I think I might actually. Want to make sure I've got plenty of room either side to get around. So, let's do that. We'll put that in on the corner.
I will tell you, some of these factories that I am building are,
Mahusive?
well, yes, they're massive. I mean, everybody knows I build big, but my overflow is unbelievable. So, like my concrete factory, it takes 13 awesome sinks just for
Holy
the overflow.
smokes. I'm lucky to get one or two going. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
the factory I'm building, it's using up the water from my bauxite
Yeah.
refinement. That's going to require 12, like probably 20 sinks by the time I'm done there.
Right.
Wow.
Between the copper, the iron, the uh, concrete, and everything else that I'll be making.
Yep.
Madness.
Oh, crap. That's not.
Yes, that's not bad actually. I'm kind of happy with that. Obviously, I've still got the pipes and stuff to finish off. But yeah, that is pretty cool. 60. 60, that's more than I've ever had. That's ridiculous. What did I need? Do I have any more? Yeah, there. Some more of them.
Holy
Nope. Nope.
cannoli.
Yeah.
That
And
worked out perfect.
yeah, another thing as well that's a really useful tip for anybody building, and it's something that Darius does a lot as well, is uses the train as storage when you're building, so you can actually make sure you've got plenty on hand when you need it as well.
Yeah, if you're building on the opposite side of the map,
Yeah,
carry extra.
definitely. Or you could just do what NBC does and cheats. Yeah, I've got it back up and running, Imperial. Turned out it was the PSU originally, but when I changed over the thermal paste on the CPU, I didn't push it in fully or something. I ended up fixing it last night with Mr. Reaper and that, so yay! That should be more than enough space there, so there, there. Try to decide what I want to put on top, whether I just want to keep it flat or do something groovy where it's going up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm not sure yet. May even sort of slightly slope it in a little bit so it's got like a point in the middle. Not sure yet. Something to work on a little bit later. Oh, there we go. But yeah, definitely glad it wasn't the motherboard as an issue, because that would have been friggin' expensive. Well, not expensive, but yeah. Oh, you know what I mean.
You thought replacing the power supply was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But one nice thing, it has given me a little bit of knowledge on how to build a computer, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
So when and if my daughter ever wants one, and she's got the money for it, I can build her one. Uh, yeah, 'cause I think it'd be nice for her to have her own computer, or a proper computer. She's got a little Chromebook at the minute, and then you obviously uses mine.
Yeah,
Um,
and you're gonna want to use yours while she's using hers, and then they won't have.
exactly. And there's some games that she's really getting into at the minute that yeah I don't really like.
Yeah,
Um,
keep her away from that Disney stuff.
1, 2. Think about there. Yeah, think I'll do 2 and 2. That's not too bad actually. Ba-da-ba-ba-bam. Hopefully that's right. Let's have a look on the outside. You learn from PC Builder. Yeah, somebody did mention about me getting that and trying it. Mr. Darius. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm gonna have to have a little bit of funkiness in the middle. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let's take that one out. That's 1, 2, 3. That's there. 1, 2. One more window there. Across. That's not too bad actually. I can go with that. I ain't got any silica with us, have I? Dang it. There. I also try like to get into doing the build as I'm doing the actual factory as well, the outside of it. So it saves me having to come back later and redo it or whatever. Alright, so I think something there. Not enough, okay. I'll finish that off later. Righty. Now, I do not need power in here there, so that can go.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about it is like I'll get a factory up and running for what I need for products, and I always build more products. So I'll get running what I need, but then I can always come back to it. I'll start the outside, I can come back to it. So when I log in, depending on my mood or style of play for that day, I can do whichever I want.
Yeah. Oh, actually, NBC. It was
No.
you I wanted actually. You
Uh-oh,
know,
what did I do?
last. I think it was in your stream the other day. You were trying to sort out supports or something, and you were using like conveyor poles and stuff.
Yes,
Have you considered using the small frame pillars?
I have, and I do
Yeah.
use them in some of them. But typically, a lot of the times when I'm using those conveyors, it's because I'm running belts underneath.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
And like what I was doing with the overflow, I mean, I could have used them on the backside for the overflow, but the problem is the way I run that particular overflow on top of one another. I can't use those frames due to the fact I still need a belt to go through there.
Ah, fair enough.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. Oh,
Yeah, 'cause that's what I've been using. Is obviously I've got the merger on top of one of the
yep,
pillars, and then I've got the pipes actually
yep.
running through. And
Yep.
obviously,
So on the pipes, it works great. It's
yeah,
the belt that gives. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
You know what those are great for though? When you're running belts across distances,
yeah,
you can lay them flat and run the belt through the middle of them.
yep,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like a
That
support.
yeah, that's what it looks like, a cage around the belt. That's what I did with my quick wire factory going to my nuclear build.
Yep.
It had to go such a big span that
oh,
I put supports down to the ground in the middle, and then I ran the belt through the middle of those
Yep.
to
Now
go
I
from
have
building to
used.
building.
I've used the bigger support before for the belts, so it gives it looks like a cage all the way down through it.
yeah,
But
these
you
ones,
got to be.
yeah,
Yeah, those there. Yep.
yeah. I usually use them for leg supports rather than belt supports.
Yeah. A lot of the
Um,
supports and stuff that I use are the concrete or the metal ones. I like the way the metal one looks from a distance.
yeah. See, like over here, obviously they're only small legs, but obviously that's my train station. One thing I
Yep.
am trying to do is use them more. Obviously, I'm not really. I need to at some point go through this, the actual train track itself, and set up the supports. But there's something I'm
Yep.
trying to get more into now.
Yep.
Because obviously, if at any point Coffee Stains decides, okay, we're going to start putting gravity and stuff into the game, yeah, all this is going to just come crashing down.
Oh,
Not,
I
not
think
to
there'll be a
interrupt.
lot of people throwing a fit for that one.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
gone live, have you?
You're at 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Coolio! So we're jumping over to see Mr. Dajnet in just a little while. And checking out, see what he's up to today. And I'm going to be going and grab a quick coffee and an ice cream in a minute. Got washing up to do still.
How's your kitchen looking?
It's tidy now, that's for sure.
You should have heard Dave last night when you sent that.
Yeah, I literally had cables and monitors, and because I literally moved everything from where I am now in the bedroom. I was very quiet because I didn't want to wake up my wife. I literally moved everything out into the kitchen and had everything pretty much spread around. Old cables, new cables, boxes here, there, and everywhere. It was a freaking right mess. I think I've finally got to bed about 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, was not good, but that's fine. That's a good bit of progress. Need to just carry on with that in a minute. But yeah, big.
You should have
big,
taken
huge.
pictures of it because that's how memories are built.
It's a memory I don't want to remember.
I'll tell you what, when I do my
600.
computer
Okay, that's
builds,
good.
my wife hates it because I take over the kitchen table. I have a table downstairs and I keep going back and forth between the floors because I'm like, oh, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use that. You know, oh, I need that cable. Oh, I need this screw or whatever. She
Yeah.
hates it because it stays that way for, a few hours and stuff. And well, she says she hates it, but she'll come out and she'll sit there and watch me do it. And then she turns around and looks at me and like, you think this is fun? I'm like, I think it's a blast.
Yeah, the last time I did mine, I did it kind of in the afternoon, but I took over the entire living room and I had one case half torn apart over here and the entire living room filled with tables and stuff all over the
Yep.
place. And
I will tell you, I literally think that you appreciate it more when you build it and understand what it's doing. And I think it's easier to diagnose stuff too.
Exactly. And that is one thing I do want to try and actually get into doing at some point is actually build a computer from scratch.
Yep.
How it will turn out, I don't know, but I'm hoping it'll turn out pretty well. Also, I've kind
The
of got a
biggest
nice
thing
insight
that
into
having
last
done it,
weeks.
5 or 6 times, the biggest thing is, and I've done it both ways, don't throw out the schematics for the motherboard when you get it.
Yeah.
no,
If you you kind of need to know
I
where stuff gets plugged in. Now, I will
showed
tell you,
Billy the other day when he was looking at one of the motherboards. I go, "That's the motherboard I've got." I grabbed the book and I said, "Here it is," because it's literally right
Yeah.
beside my left shoulder.
Yep.
and I will tell you that certain things will be labeled something that you got to think about what you want it to do. You know, it may have a multi-function. Like it may have one spot where you can put a cooling fan in and another spot where you have to put the cooler in, or on another board it might be together
Yeah.
and stuff. But yeah,
Cool. Right then, guys.
It's also very handy being able to reference it too for things. but
yes.
yeah,
Thank God for YouTube.
Yeah. Very, very
and
true.
Google.
5.
So we're gonna go over to see Mr. Dave. Thanks, guys. I may be back tomorrow. If not, I will be definitely back on Wednesday doing the competition map. So if anybody wants to join in, you're more than welcome to. Thank you everyone for your help, especially Mr. Reaper with the computer. I know you like to lurk a lot, but yeah, let's go see what Dave's up to, and see you again soon, guys.
All right, Billy's
Bye,
bringing
guys.
his peeps over. How you doing, Uppies and Grids fan? Gonna go through the changes, and if anybody's interested, we can see if we can get some people together, and I'll jump up in after I go through the changes up into the general lobbies again. And we could give it a try, but I will say this. It's gonna be different.
Oh, what's
These
going
are
on with this thing?
these are pretty big because I want to get people back to not just buying everything and bypassing the cages, or what's the point of them being there? So,
It's not allowing me to raid you. What's going on?
oh
Refresh.
man, Billy can't raid.
Ugh. I'm a noob.
Well, either way.
Start raid. No. you are already raiding Darjan, it says. Okay, well, go
Yeah,
through.
well,
Go on, go. Go. Oh,
it won't come through. His raid is stuck.
There it is. Gotcha! I think, hopefully.
Got
Yeah, there
me.
we go.
All right.
Phew!